Mosquito trap. The mosquito lands on the salt, thinking it's sugar. They get thirsty for water, but the cap has tequila in it. The mosquito gets drunk, trips on the stick, and bangs its head on the rock. I am going to be rich with this pattern. Truly a genius amongst us. They are living in the year 3000 right now. Special thank you to CJ, McPuffin, Els, Kaori Ann Mori, and Holly Miller for supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Apologies if it's a little bit darker in here than usual. The light bulb that is normally right above me just blew out the other day. It tripped out all of the lights in the house, just blew out. Unfortunately, the holder that holds it in place has broken, so we can't get the broken bulb out to replace it. So we have to replace like the entire fixture so that I actually have a light in here. That's how my week's going. So the next few videos probably going to be a little bit dark. Apologies for that. Today, we are going to be taking a look at r/white people Twitter, because nothing says prime YouTube content like a white person reading out other white people's tweets. Genius. Let's get into it, shall we? Forewarning, this video it's gonna be political. There's a lot of political white tweets. Cool. Kinda funny when you realize the guys that stormed the Capitol will now have felony arrest records and lose their gun right. They took their own guns away. You know, when you put it like that, it is quite funny, isn't it? But they weren't the brightest bunch to begin with, so I don't feel bad knowing that some people that stormed the American Capitol won't be allowed guns anymore. Just don't feel bad about that. Wait, the guy who cheated to get into college, and cheated to get out of Vietnam, and cheated on wives, and cheated at golf, and cheated students at his scam university, and cheated donors to his fake charity, has been cheating on the Trump Organization taxes? Get the f*** out of here. No way. No, I don't believe it for a second. He's an honest man. I can't even say that with a straight face. Tax rich people. Like, how about when we tax rich people, we like actually tax rich people instead of all of the richest people in the world not actually paying taxes. Funny thought there. Funny thought, you know? We all owe the leave Britney alone guy an apology. He was right and we were jerks. So to anyone that doesn't know what the context of this is, Britney Spears had a breakdown a few years ago and was put into like the care of her father, I think. She had a IUD implant put in so that she couldn't get pregnant, and now she is not allowed to remove it. Okay, so I decided to do a bit more research into this subject, and it goes a lot deeper than what I just explained. So this is actually 13 years now. 13 years ago, she was put into a conservatorship, and she has recently, to a judge, described that as abusive and said that she just wants her life back. This meant that she had an IUD implant, meaning she wasn't allowed to have any more children, and she even claims that she was put onto the psychiatric drug lithium against her wishes. Her father was granted this control in 2008. It has been 13 years and she still doesn't have control over her own life, and she describes the whole relationship as abusive, and it's kind of messed up, really. Insane. Just let her live her life. Let's move on. Flint's old police academy sold for marijuana grow facility despite objections. Congratulations again to drugs for winning the war on drugs. Well, I don't know what to say. I guess it's a step forwards. I am of the belief that people should be allowed to smoke marijuana. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna smoke weed, much like I don't smoke regular cigarettes. But that doesn't mean I don't believe other people shouldn't be able to. I think if someone wants to, they should be allowed. Just a thought. Instead of boomers, try the same sentence with Jews instead. See where that takes you. See how you like it. See what it says about you. Cheers. As I have always said, it is social media and the young people on it that are ruining today's world. Instead of young people, try the same sentence with Jews instead. Hoisted by her own petard right there. Look, people suck from every generation, alright? But there are also some pretty great people from every generation. The fact of it is, you can't just blame young people for a problem that they inherited, especially considering the people that raised those young people, right? Like, I'm just saying. Sex was created by God for marriage, between a husband and wife, not for a boyfriend and a girlfriend that are dating. Show me Adam and Eve's marriage certificate. But this is another thing, right? It's absolutely fine if you want to believe something in your religion. I don't agree with restricting other people for not doing that, okay? Like, if you want to say that people shouldn't have sex outside of marriage, you don't have to. Non-Christians, funnily enough, are not gonna live by Christian rules. What if, for example, I believed in the old ancient Egyptian pantheon, right? I'm not gonna care if a Christian says that I shouldn't have sex before marriage. What if I believe in the ancient Greek pantheon? What if I believe in the old Norse gods, right? Do you get the point I'm making here? It's just any Old Testament book, basically. It's Judaism, Islam, and Christianity that believe in the Old Testament, and then added on books that believe that marriage is what defines whether people should be allowed to have sex. No other religion cares. So my religious freedom means that you believing that men and women shouldn't have sex before marriage doesn't affect me, because my religious freedom means that I don't believe in your religion and live by my own. Christians need to stop forcing Christianity upon non-Christians. Florida is about to question professors about their politics. States are banning the teaching of racism, blocking black folks from voting, and making it legal to kill protesters with your car. And the feds say anarchists and socialists are terrorists. We didn't vote out fascism. It gets pretty sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. And now the fact that they are actively making it harder for black people to actually live their lives the same as everyone else. Like, what is going on over there? That's going backwards. Making it legal to kill protesters with your car. I'm gonna have to verify this fact in post. I don't have the time to do it right now. But if that's the case, that's insane. Oops, accident, protesters were taking up the street. That's insane. Imagine they take away a very important right. You try and protest it, and then people don't agree with that, just start mowing down protesters with their cars. Is that the direction that America is going in? Because that doesn't sound like a good time to me. I'm gonna move on now. Decriminalize all drugs. So when a violent crime is committed by someone high on drugs, for instance, driving high and vehicular homicide occurs, or going into a violent rage while on meth, the law has its hands tied and the victim of the crime has less rights than a drug user? Exactly. When they legalized alcohol, we literally stopped arresting people for driving drunk. You can literally kill someone while drunk and they can't even arrest you. Just say, alcohol is legal, and they have to let you go. Yeah, I don't know what point this first person thought they were making. Of course, legalizing a drug does not legalize crimes committed with that drug. Alcohol was legalized, and you know what they created? They created a law called driving under the influence, a law that also covers other drugs. In the UK, you will get more of a punishment if you hit someone with your car because you were driving drunk than if you hit someone with your car while sober. So no, people doing drugs and committing crimes do not have more rights than the people that they affected with those crimes. And I don't know how you would even make the assumption that they do, because that's not the case with literally any legal drug. Derek Chauvin is sentenced to only 22.5 years in prison for murdering George Floyd. Just last year, a man was released after serving 31 years of a 90-year sentence for marijuana. This may be a step forwards, but it is not justice. It's really not. It's really not. I don't know what to say. I could talk about the American prison system and how heavily flawed that is anyway. Like, I will be real with you. The police officer that killed George Floyd, he's not gonna come out of prison reformed. Most people don't. I think America has a reoffension rate of like 90%. It's really high in 8 years. Like, most people end up back in prison, but it's because American prison is just a business, and that is messed up. That's just, what, legal human trafficking? Making a business out of prisoners? America, you have a lot of problems that need sorting out. Instead of making a top-down CEO decision, we asked our 200 employees where they want to work. Only 7% wanted to go back to the office full-time, 31% wanted a home office hybrid, 60% wanted full-time remote work. So we told everyone, do what you want. This stuff isn't hard. It's really not. If you are in a workplace scenario where you can't work from home, it's understandable, you know? Maybe you use a lot of physical tools. You could do welding or mechanic work or anything like that. Fine, go back to work, that makes sense. However, if you're an office worker, if you work entirely on a computer and you would rather work at home during a global pandemic, why can't you? If you do all of your work on a computer, are you really needed at work? As long as you get your work done, does it matter if you go into work in person? I don't think it does. I don't. And I think that if people would rather stay home during a global pandemic, more power to them, it's a global pandemic. You're a working class mum with a new baby and you live in Canada. You know how many days of paid leave you get to spend with your baby? 119. If you're living just over the border in Detroit, you get 0 days with your baby in the richest country in the world. Unacceptable. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, isn't it? 0 days maternity leave baffles me. It baffles me. That's insane. That is insane. That's it. That's the statement. That's insane. If your city absolutely needs a statue of an old white guy, may humbly suggest this hero. In 1829, some white families asked John Brown to help them remove Native Americans from the area. Brown replied, "I will have nothing to do with so mean an act. I would sooner take my gun and help drive you out of the country." You know, props to the man. He lived in a very racist time and he was very anti-racist, and that is an impressive act. So props to him for standing by what he believes in a time that did not support those beliefs. More people should be like him. Just saw a headline that read, "After 20 years in prison for stealing 2 shirts, a black man in Louisiana is finally free." Meanwhile, just yesterday, the first rioter tried for storming the Capitol on January 6th was sentenced to probation. 2 Americas. Yeah, one of those things is definitely more extreme than the other, right? 20 years for 2 shirts is kind of insane. That's my entire lifetime for stealing 2 shirts. Meanwhile, the people that stormed the actual American Capitol got probation. What? Justice. It makes you want to become a vigilante. When Mitch McConnell didn't have 60 votes needed to confirm Trump's judicial nominees, he carved out an exception to the filibuster and made it happen anyway. Please tell me one good reason why Dems shouldn't do the same for voting rights. I cannot. Can you? We are not in the top 10 countries in the world in rankings on freedom, democracy, health, happiness, quality of life, education, income, and sex and race equality. Maybe we should let go of American exceptionalism and begin to learn from countries that are doing better than us. I have held this belief for years. This doesn't just apply to America, this applies to the UK as well. Why maintain the belief that my country is better than every other country when it's not? The minute you can let go of the belief that your country does absolutely better than everyone else, you can begin to learn the things that your country needs to improve in and look at the countries that are doing better and what they did. Because there are so many countries doing so many things so much better. For a country like America, who is literally the richest country in the world, what excuse do they have? What excuse is there that they don't have a better healthcare system, or that the schooling system for happier kids isn't improved, or that the quality of life is still not as good as so many other countries, in the richest country in the world. There is no excuse for that. And anybody that says that it would ruin the economy if you started improving any of these things is willfully ignorant to the amount that America spends on its military, because it's more than any other country. They could drastically improve the budget that is put on their schools. They could drastically improve the budget that's put on their healthcare, because they spend so much. It's gonna be one of those videos. It's already one of those videos. It's just me ranting about how the richest country in the world doesn't have the things that other poorer countries have. Even China has global insurance. They have global medical insurance to everybody that has a job. China has that, and America doesn't. Insane. One of the hallmarks of the dangerously stupid is the consistent belief they found great solutions that experts somehow missed. See anti-vaxxers. See no new normal. See COVID deniers. See all of them combined. I've done a lot of videos on them, and they all think that they're smarter than scientists who dedicate their life to studying these things, and they're all just sitting there on Facebook or YouTube. That's it. Their research is like, I'm have a Google, and it's like, do you really think that the world's leading scientists didn't think, maybe I should see what other scientists have put on Google? Of course they have. Of course they have. The difference is, a leading global scientist, one, is gonna know better how to assess that information, and two, is gonna know better how to make sure it's a reliable source. Point in case, scientists are gonna be better at science than someone without a science degree. Hi, Veteran here. I fired almost every version of the AR-15. Fun fact, the rounds intentionally tumble out of the barrel to maximize the damage to the body they enter. That's considered a force multiplier. It's a devastating weapon that shouldn't be in the hands of civilians. And why is it in the hands of civilians? What regular human, let's say self-defense, what person needs a gun that can do that? A handgun is gonna be more than enough. I even think a handgun's overkill. I've gone through some shady parts of my city, some real shady parts, and I've never once gone, really wish I had a gun right now, really wish I had an AR-15 right now. No, I'm gonna end the video there because my camera's about to run out of time. So thank you for watching, guys. There's lots of rants. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you want to support me in making more content like this might be demonetized, I have a Patreon in the description below, or equally you can click that join button to join the channel. Helps a lot more than you might realize. Like, a lot more than you might realize. But by no means should you feel you have to. I'm gonna keep making content regardless. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.